We can skip it.
So maybe we can get in touch with in this discussion.
I'll just leave. Well, I'll check it out.
So you can't try it.
I was gonna suggest
I've got it here.
Jan, you're asking about February 8th and 9th?
Which one? Well, I was asking about exactly what time we were looking at doing.
call me or send me an email.
Okay.
Yeah.
Lance was saying that it was free. Is it ready?
I guess when we talked about it.
Your watch is fast.
Yeah. Okay, at 6 o'clock, we stand for pledge allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, reminder to please turn off cell phones and turn your microphones on. Let's have roll call.
Mayor Bain,
Here.
Counselor Baker. Here. Counselor Quinlan.
Here.
Counselor Scalisi.
Here.
Counselor Sherman. Here.
Okay, you've all had a chance to look at the minutes for the regular meeting of November 5th. Are there any changes or corrections? Okay, hearing none, do I have a motion to approve those as submitted?
So moved.
Didn't do it. Okay, second. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Okay. Number 4, visitors and delegations. We have Paul Acosta on our roster, but I don't see him, so let's, is there somebody else on this list too? Is
I
that,
don't, do you know anything, Chief?
I do not, sorry.
okay. Oh, you don't have anything? I
Well,
thought Corey.
it came through Corey, so I don't know.
We have the money, we just
We
don't
have the
have
money,
anybody to
but
give it
there's
to.
nobody here from Crime Stop.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
Okay,
gotcha.
so we can take care of it next
So
week.
we'll just not.
Maybe they'll.
Okay. Moving on to public comment. Is there anybody that would like to public comment tonight? Okay. Moving on to management. We have a public hearing for the 2019 budget. And staff report is going to be by Joanne.
Okay, this evening before you is going to be 3 resolutions for the approval of our 2019 budget. We've had 2 previous public hearings on the budget. The first one was for the review of the proposed operating budgets, and the second one was for the proposed capital requests. After that, we did have a budget retreat that council all came to. And so this evening, we're asking council to approve 3 resolutions. One is to adopt the budget, and that's $11,795,375 would be what that total budget is. And one is to appropriate the funds, and the third is to set the mill levy for 15.66 mills, which is what it's been for several years. At this time, I also need to report on the highway users tax. Highway users tax for 2018, the estimated amount received is $186,000 and was used to defray the costs of the street maintenance. And in the 2019 budget, we have budgeted $160,000 that we will receive in highway users tax, and that will be set aside for the street maintenance as well. That's all I have.
Okay. At this point, we'll go ahead and open it up for the public for comments, either in support or opposed to the 2019 budget. Is there anyone who would like to speak? Okay, are there any further questions from council? Questions? Okay, I'll close the public hearing. And we'll move on to resolution 5A. Do I have a motion to approve or deny the resolution number 2018-20, adopt the 2019 budget?
I move we approve resolution 2018-20, resolution to adopt the 2019 budget.
Okay, we have a motion. Second. Discussion? Andrea, roll call vote, please.
Mayor Bain,
Yes.
Counselor Baker.
Yes.
Counselor Quinlan.
Yes.
Counselor Scalisi.
Yes.
Counselor Sherman. Yes.
Okay, also, as a part of the 2019 budget, we have resolution number 2018-21, appropriating funds. Do I have a motion to either approve or deny?
I'll make a motion to approve resolution number 2018-21, the resolution appropriating funds.
Okay, we have a motion, second?
Second.
We have a second, discussion? Roll call vote, please.
Counselor Baker,
Yes.
Counselor Quinlan,
Yes.
Counselor Scalisi,
Yes.
Counselor Sherman,
Yes.
Mayor Bean.
Yes. Oh, also as part of our 2019 budget, I would look for a motion to approve or deny resolution number 2018-22, set the mill levy.
I move for resolution 2018-22, resolution to set the mill levy.
Do we have a motion? Do we have a second? Discussion? Roll call vote, please.
Counselor Quinlan,
Yes.
Counselor Scalisi,
Yes.
Counselor Sherman,
Yes.
Mayor Bain,
Yes.
Counselor Baker.
Yes.
Okay, moving on to 5B, request from Municipal Court Judge Stephen Jones. Monty's handling that.
Okay, there's a letter in each of the council members' packets. This letter is a request from the municipal judge in regards to a pay increase for 2019. I believe it's only a $30 increase for the month, so it's a very small increase. At my level, I don't have any problems with it, but because he's appointed by the city council, it's really your determination if he receives that pay increase.
Okay, do I have a motion to either approve or deny the request?
I move that we approve the request from Judge Jones.
Okay, we have a motion to approve.
Second.
Second, discussion? Roll call vote, please.
Counselor Scalisi,
Yes.
Counselor Sherman,
Yes.
Mayor Bain,
Yes.
Counselor Baker,
Yes.
Counselor Quinlan.
Yes.
The next item, 5C, has been pulled. I think we still need further work on the utility agreement. So we'll move on to 5D, Colorado Lamb LLC incentives. Monty.
Okay, in your packet's a memo. This memo was put together by Tyler Purvis, our marketing and economic development specialist. And if everyone has that, I'll run over the key parts of this. Tyler put in here to date some of the incentives that we've already provided for Colorado lamb processors, and so that's just some background information. What we're wanting approval on is those additional recommendations to council. If you look towards the bottom of that page, is everyone tracking that? Essentially what we're looking at is approximately $61,000 to the cost of the public portion of the stormwater improvements out there, $45,000 to the cost of public wastewater improvements, and $100,000 towards the public water improvements to the property. And it also spells out a little bit on the wastewater plant, some of the cost of connecting to the city for that type of business is $840,000, but we're requesting to give them a 30% reduction in that as an incentive, so they'd have to pay $588,000 over a 2-year period for tapping onto our wastewater system. There's a water connection fee that we're recommending to be waived. That's $36,000. And then also, we're looking at 50% off of their building permits, and then sequential use tax payments being paid as they go, not estimated and paid all up front. So we're asking for approval on those incentives, and you'll see those numbers all again in the utility agreement and the development agreement that's still gonna be produced, but we just wanted to get it on record that, and so we can let them know as well what they're to anticipate. And those are very similar to other incentives that we provided in the past for similar type businesses.
Okay, would entertain a motion to either approve or deny the incentives.
We approve the incentives for Colorado Lamb LLC.
Okay, we have a motion to approve.
Second.
We have a second discussion. One thing I would say, I really compliment staff on the work that you did to work on the incentive package that worked both well for the city and for the lambing operation. It took Took a little bit of time, but I think we have a good agreement here. Any further discussion? Andrew, roll call vote, please.
Counselor Sherman?
Yes.
Mayor Bain?
Yes.
Counselor Baker?
Yes.
Counselor Quinlan?
Yes.
Counselor Scalisi?
Yes.
Okay, item 5E, 2019 brush residential and multi-family residential building incentives. Tyler?
Thank you, Mayor. So council, I believe at the last meeting, had initially discussed extending what we've done, I believe the last 3 years, I want to say, for our housing incentives. And we're asking council to extend it another year, both for single family and multifamily. The reason being, we've actually started to see some traction with, I should say, attraction and production with the incentives that council has put in place year after year. It's been interesting because a lot of people hear about it and they say, well, that's really, really good. And then we're like, oh, it is good. So why don't you do that? And then following through on it, there's a lot of different variables that have caused different reasons, but it's been there long enough and people have said, okay, this is a good deal. Where Karen just reported to me at the end of last week that in addition to some projects that are happening, she's planning on issuing another certificate of occupancy. She just had building plans submitted today for another house in discussion with at least one other one. And we have a meeting tomorrow with someone who's looking at investing in housing in the area as well because of the incentives, in addition to the opportunity zones that exist in the area, specifically brush. So with that, it's basically the same as we've done the last couple of years, which is the 50% reduction with the plant investment fee for water, wastewater connection fee, and the building permit fee for both residential and, for both multifamily and single family. So if you have any questions.
Thank you, Tyler.
All right.
Okay, I'd entertain a motion to either approve or deny.
I'd like to make a motion that we approve the 2019 brush residential and multifamily residential building incentives.
Second.
Have a motion and second discussion. Roll call vote, please.
Mayor Bain?
Yes.
Counselor Baker?
Yes.
Counselor Quinlan?
Yes.
Counselor Scalisi?
Yes.
Counselor Sherman?
Yes.
5F, Communication Center Intergovernmental Agreement. That one also is going to require some more work, so we're pulling that from the agenda. Moving on to finance.
Okay. I'd like to make a motion that we approve city expenditures from November 26th through December 10th of 2018, totaling $209,970.57.
We have a motion.
I'll second it.
Second. Discussion. Roll call vote.
Counselor Baker?
Yes.
Counselor Quinlan?
Yes.
Counselor Scalisi?
Yes.
Counselor Sherman?
Yes.
Mayor Bain?
Yes. Moving on to staff reports. Joanne.
I have a couple items this evening. Council may recall that at the last council meeting, Councilor Anderson had requested a breakdown information on the Visa bill that was in the amount of $4,905. So I went through and double-checked that bill. The largest expense in that Visa bill was $3,192 for a golf course flagpole. That's where that, some of you may have noticed it out there at the golf course, that big flagpole that we put up. There was approximately $500 in training. One of those was for Salida trip on the chief of police, and then there was Progressive 15 and economic development meals. There were some various other advertising, annual computer maintenance fees that usually come out of this bill as well. Okay? And then the other items I'd like to report on is that due to the timing of this council meeting, the financial status report was not in your packet, and since we're not going to have a second meeting for me to put it in, I'll just, when I get it done, I'll send it out via email so that you do get one for the month of November and December. Also, since we're not having a second meeting in December, I have asked the Finance Committee to come in on December the 27th to sign off on our last batch of bills for the year, and then we'll include those in the January 2019 first council meeting for the whole council to approve.
Thank you, Joanne. Police Chief Derek Moss. First report.
I don't really have anything to report other than thank you very much for the warm welcome to the community. The first week's been great, staff's been great, and things are moving forward at a great pace. So.
All right, thank you. Let's see. Marketing, Tyler?
Just quickly, of course, with the holiday time, the City of Brush has partnered with the Chamber of Commerce with some of the different Christmas activities going on. Friday night, we did a big kickoff downtown with, in partnership with the local businesses and the Chamber of Commerce. That went, I thought, pretty well, where they had fire pits and some of the businesses were open and giving out hot cocoa and such things. And Junior Main Street was there serving out free chili, and had games on the sidewalk. And then we had a tree lighting ceremony up at the library, and that went well. The mayor was there to give us the official countdown with one of the kids. So
Yeah, the mayor didn't realize there was that many people come to it. So I parked 2 blocks away and ran.
well, you made it. Good job. And so it was a good festive Yuletide time altogether. So, but there are additional activities going on, and of course, we're always supporting our local businesses. So we encourage all of the community members to shop Brush and see what's out there. We do have a lot of opportunities and different types of merchandise available throughout Brush. Contrary to what some people might think, there's a considerable amount. So get online, talk to people, go around and look, and you'll be pleasantly surprised.
Yeah.
So that's all I have tonight.
All right, thank you, Tyler. Fire Chief Tad.
Short and sweet. We did a walk through the new building, kind of final punch list. Things are looking good. We're getting down to the end of it finally, so I think everybody's happy about that. We're happy about that.
Yeah, looks good. We haven't
So-
moved any equipment in yet?
No,
Okay. Do you know when?
no.
Not sure.
We want everything done. It's going to be nearly impossible to
Right.
move stuff out of the way to finish things. So we'll have everything that can be done will be done before we move the equipment in. We do have one piece of that project that's going to take a little time, and that's the extension of the mezzanine. Big mess right there.
Yeah.
So it'll get done, and we'll deal with that. But for the most part, everything else needs to get done. So hoping we can start maybe moving some of the tools and some equipment potentially this next weekend, and we'll see when we can start moving apparatus. So
I know the hope was that we would move everything in before the snow flies, and so far we're right.
yeah, that's true. That'll be good. So other than that, we're just anxious to get in.
Okay.
So
Looking
All right.
good. Thank you, Tad. Moving on, City Clerk, Andrea.
Okay. Tomorrow we have our special election for Ward 3 at the JC Building. And my intention is, by election statute, you have to post the results on the building. So I will be doing that. Then I'll come back to City Hall and send out an email to Ms. Anderson, the candidates, City Council, and the newspaper. So that's, and Bo.
Thank you.
Well, you're on staff. So that's how, and then the next day, I think Tyler can post it on Facebook and our website, or so that's how we'll be informing people. City Hall will be closed at noon, December 24th. The office is closed the 25th, and then at noon on December 31st, and closed January 1st. We have a request from Lance Schwint for council to discuss dates of either January 8th or January 9th to hear the outcome from Green Clay on the Recreation Master Plan. From the very first glance, it looks like Wednesday, January 9th is going to be the best for council, but I thought maybe since we're all here, we can talk about the time, so I can get that back to Lance.
Okay. Everybody ask, we don't know how long that meeting will last.
We didn't say.
Okay, so.
I guess, if you're anticipating 2 to 3 hours, the earlier the better. After 5 would be good, or during the day. I'm not objecting to that.
can even do a lunch meeting if you guys choose to.
Now, what day is that?
Wednesday,
Wednesday.
January 9th.
I'm thinking 2 or 3 of us probably can't make during the day before 5 o'clock, maybe Dana.
I could actually probably get away before, something before 3:30. I mean, I could probably do like an 11 to 1, 11 to 12,
How
like
about you?
11 to 2, something like that. I think
Yeah.
I could do that.
Okay.
Okay, let's
Sounds
try
good.
that.
I'll try, and I'll let you know.
Okay.
That's all I have.
Okay, City Administrator, Monty.
Okay, a few items. The first one is we're continuing to work with a solar company for a community solar garden out at the old English feedlot. I gave council a little update on that the last meeting, so just still working that administratively at this point, and once we have a little more information, we'll bring that back to council. The other thing is that this week, there's a potential of Department of Local Affairs, their executive director coming through and looking at the fire department building. It's funded approximately 50% by DOLA, and so we're hoping that that does happen and he can get a quick tour. He's gonna go out and look at other sites around the northeast Colorado that have received funding from DOLA. And at that point in time, we can advocate for any other potential grants coming up so that we get some face time with the decision maker from DOLA. Other thing is, potential of a special meeting, so I hate to be the buzzkill, right? But there's a potential of a special meeting. It depends on these other contracts that we need to get signed. If we get all the reviews by their attorneys and changes done, there's a potential of requesting that. But I'll contact the mayor and he'll see if we can schedule a special meeting if needed. That's all I have.
Okay. Moving on to mayor and council reports. Does anybody have a report? Okay, I would just say we have an election tomorrow, and I would just encourage Ward 3 people to please go out and vote. I have a motion to adjourn.
I'd move to adjourn. Merry Christmas, everyone.
Oh, Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.